myself, but also bring awareness to things that need awareness. I never wanted to just be a hooper that just sat back and didn't have anything to say about anything that mattered. And maybe a few times as my curiosity and my introspections and my thoughts have gotten me suspended, or I've dealt with consequences that unfortunately came my way. I took my accountability for that. I've learned from that. I've grown from it. I've learned how to navigate in conversations with very intellectually driven people, but also they're very faith based, and they're very politically based. They're very politically based, and that's where a lot of their beliefs stem from. So I've learned to just allow others to speak, listen, and allow things to naturally grow relationship wise with some of these people, because I'm not going to agree with everybody, and I'm damn sure going to change my mind when I feel like there's evidence in front of me that supports it. So I really, what I'm getting out of this as well is, even as I think about my mom in reference to what I'm talking about, it really has a lot to do with giving everybody grace to change, but also sometimes waiting too long to act on things that you want to change. The time can pass by. And you guys in the chat, some people just randomly spew things out and just to get a reaction. But I'm a human being sitting here trying to navigate this world just like you. Again, you are in control of a few things, right? It's how you breathe out in this world, it's your attitude, it's pushing yourself, it's the inner motivation. It's a lot of things, but there's a few secrets that you should know about this world. Like, not only do you get rewarded when you give people grace to change, but give people the chance to show you who they are and then move on. You know, we live in a very unserious generation at times, and that's why I am on here to make sure that my generation and Gen Z, whoever's after us, like, I'm a millennial, so shout out to Gen Z. Shout out to the crystal generation as well. That's before them, and then we have like the alpha or mega generation. I don't want to mistake here my words, but we are inheriting the earth next. The old heads, as we call them, or the real unks, or the 60, 70, 80, 90 year olds. God honor their wealth and age and wisdom and age, but we are going to be the ones that are going to inherit the earth. So it's best that we become more informed so there isn't a lack of trust or fluidity. That's the thing I'm looking at. How can I bring these conversations forward earlier so I'm not in my 40s sitting back and just allowing things to just happen in front of me? Bro, I know some of y'all at home feel powerless when you watching stuff on your timeline. I know some of you guys feel powerless, and we are politically out organized here in America. We are. We are politically out organized, and we are a faith based country, which I have no quarrel with. I just have my own transgressions about how divided we are amongst that melting pot of cultures, which is supposed to be appreciated by each one of us. We're supposed to have a melting pot of cultures appreciated by everybody, but there's segregation. There are invisible, not tactics used, but there's many blame games that go on. And again, you guys in this chat may be like, what the fuck is Kai talking about? Futures joining. But I'm just talking about the intersectionality of how one grows and how one matures. And i.e., I'm using me as an example, showing you guys live by my digital footprint. But this is how things change over time, where, man, it's just I've sat back and watched for so long where I don't think it's doing myself any service just sitting back and not becoming more educated on how I can make change. Especially as I'm seeing that, like, I don't know. This is something that I'm still trying to flush out all of this because it's yeah. I'm not trying to seem smarter than what I am at all either because this is still an ongoing journey for me. It's just I feel like my generation knows exactly what I mean when I say this. Like when you get to be a certain age. Yeah, no, I hear you guys. Again, I'm gonna respond to a lot of you guys in the chat, but this serious tone is what I was talking about in the beginning, right? And this is before like we go into the other details of the stream. But I wanted to tell you because I have to take my accountability for being unaware of the depths of how all this stuff kind of intersects. Like there's a lot. And you guys have seen again clips of what I'm talking about where I'm just referring to the world as this gigantic, melting pot, but also stage of now we said it was actors, but what I really meant was this. We have a chance to really take a stand for the future selves of like our future selves where we can take this moment right now to just say, hey, look, if we all bond together, and I know it sounds like some kumbaya shit, but if we are all meshed in this together, then there should be a common enemy that we're all aware of, that we know the depths of. That's all. Okay. Because I am always going to make sure that I am praying for each and every one of you, all of your families, anyone overseas, anyone abroad dealing with the oppressive systems that have been here for decades and centuries. It's hard not to reflect on that when I go to sleep and pray, right? Because I'm praying strong, but I also know that there is more to do. There's more to educate myself on. This is what the revolutionaries who came before me were doing. Now, I'm not just out here saying I am jumping out into left or right. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying this: becoming more educated with our political system is all I want to do. So that's why I'm going back to school. Don't want to be in rooms and I'm not able to question what's going on. That's all. You know, I want to be politically organized with my thoughts too. I want to participate in a lot more of these conversations because it matters that my kids have a world that they also can refer to as peaceful. All right. So it's it's a lot of it's not even just weird engagement when you're on here, but when you're going through your thoughts actively and trying to get them out, just understand I get you. All right. I get you. This is not a confusing time when you're watching a lot of evil persist and you're sitting back and you want to do something about it. All right. So this introduction was for all of those that exactly you guys are exactly understanding where I'm coming from without me really saying much. Because it's me at 33 years old and I have children and I want to protect them. It doesn't mean that I have any ill will intentions or any hate towards any one person or any group of people. It just means that I've inherited the same issues that have been going on for a large portion of history that I would like to see changed. And you're seeing a lot of people speak out openly, and you're seeing a lot of political party members have something to say, which I respect, and you're seeing reactions and commentary, but there's a bigger purpose out here that we all need to be aware of. And that's all I was getting at. Just pay attention to what's going on around you, okay? All right, I appreciate you guys motivating me to go back to school. Right? I'm excited. I'm probably like more excited to go back to school than I've been ever, and that's like I don't mean to be a nerd or anything like that, but I also intend to be a nerd. It's just I don't want to be out here known as just a dropout and it's not a shot to anybody that goes and chases their dreams and leaves school. It's not, I'm not saying that, but it's nothing like being able to participate in societal norms or politics and not feel awkward about it, being educated so I don't sound crazy or I don't come out with something that has consequences where that I'm not aware of. Because when you start going into these different conversations and you start kind of changing the, not necessarily the brand output, but just how can I still be who I am while being in these rooms with people that may have political differences with me, or I may have them with them, but we're able to still talk about it and go somewhere positive for all of us. I'm speaking that into existence. I am speaking that into existence, you guys. Okay. This is a message from my future self. You may look at this as crazy right now, what you're saying, but when you do walk across that stage or you get your diploma, you're going to be grateful. You're going to be grateful that you sat down, read all the books, you discipline yourself to a routine that makes sense, and your expectations were superseded. Like, this is knowledge is power, you guys, and being educated out here and not falling victim to the ignorant thoughts that go across social media and then regurgitating everything you hear. I would like to be in that place where I form my own thoughts, form my own belief systems. And have I been on that journey these last few years? Absolutely. But now being in a classroom or being online and being able to now have subject matters to be discussed with a professor, I'm looking forward to that. So if you're now just joining this right this second, I'm basically explaining to everybody, why does this stream mean so much to me? Because I am literally leaving a message for my future self, and I pray that you guys are witnessing this history comfortably too. Because not only was I talking about the strong prayers that I'm sending, but also the gratitude to be able to go and learn, and to go and be around other students, or to be in a classroom where things are challenged. So whether that be political science or economics or psychology, um, you know, whether it be anything in business management, entrepreneurship, but I'm really just guys, I'm focused. I'm focused. Want to spend these next few years not only chasing after championships and getting rings with my brothers, it's going back to school and getting my degree and graduating by the time I retire. That's a goal that I have for myself. And I'm gonna hold myself accountable, for all my actions, you guys. And I wanted to display this truth in front of you because these thoughts, right? Every human goes through these, you know what I mean? These not these spirals of conversations going on internally, but being able to organize them, bring back your point, get the strategy on how you're gonna execute, and then go execute. I don't think it's harder than that. But sitting back in this chair and constantly thinking about all the children that are unfortunately murdered and starved in different parts of the world, whether it be Congo, Sudan, Palestine, Palestine, um, you know, not even a conflict necessarily. I don't even want to go into the word scramble of all these things, but it's not even a conflict in these countries. It's so much deeper than that. And it has a lot. Ethiopia as well. Thank you guys for mentioning that. A lot of places dealing with warfare, a lot of innocent men, women, and children in the middle of this warfare, individuals being grouped with dealing with the punishment of being part of a different culture or race or religion. And yeah, guys, it's just not cool to watch corruption happen in real time. You know, it's not easy to sit back and watch corruption take place. And I feel like the law should apply to everyone, especially if you are a taxpayer. Because guys, I've paid millions in taxes. Uh, I've paid millions in taxes at this point. Just got my finances, um, financial team together. So that was a wake up call from being a kid. Uh, had to get my shit together. Over the last 2 years or 3 years, I've donated well over 3 or 4 million to GoFundMe's and trying to help out community leaders and donating to different political campaigns. I've spent my own money trying to help out the world, and I did not an audit on myself, but I did a recount on how many GoFundMe pages I've donated to, and just in the last 2 years, it was over 3 million. So I don't even want to go back over till 2020 or 2019, and it's not a good habit, right? Sort of say, listen to me. I love donating to 501(c)(3)s and GoFundMe's. I'm not mad at that. I'm saying, but I used to sit on my, you know, my massage table before games, and I used to double click on on my phone when I saw GoFundMe, double click, 25K, 50K, 24K, 11K here, 12K here, trying to share my resources as much as I could. Now, did I did I do the research necessary on if everybody was legitimate? No, I did not do that. I did not do that. I did not do research on whether everybody was legitimate or every 501(c). I didn't even get a write-off for any of it. Um, and the reason why I'm sharing that with you guys, it's not to, again, to get like a lot more pats on the back. I don't do it for that. I love my community. I love Earth. I love humanity. Like I don't like to see people struggling. So excuse me if I have empathy as a skill or as like something that should be shaped and formed a certain type of way. This just goes back to my mom. This is why I started off the stream. Why does this stream mean so much to you? Right? Because August is like I just get reminded of all the gifts that my mom gave me and the positions that I've been able to be in and a lot of the opportunities I've created through hard work. But when I'm in this seat sitting in front of you guys, I'm not here for a dime. I'm not